Welcome to the conversation with Alice Weidel, who is, I believe, currently the leading candidate to run Germany, I think, most popular in the polls. Welcome, Alice. Thank you for joining Spaces, and I look forward to this discussion. And perhaps we could start by outlining, if you could outline what AfD's platform is, what are the main things you're aiming for, where does Germany need change, and just to educate people who have never heard of AfD or AfD, if it would be German. And because a lot of people, especially in America, have never heard of AfD, so perhaps this would be very helpful.
Okay. Thank you very much, Elon, for having me and to give this opportunity to openly speak about different matters. Let me can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Perfect. To start with, who we are. The AfD is the alternative for Germany. It is a relatively new party, founded 11 years ago during the course of the Euro problems. Unfortunately, I have to start when I shed some light on our party with the quite negative circumstances in Germany. Our country is a great country with highly motivated people, but our country has been governed not in a proper way within the last 20-25 years. We had the Angela Merkel administration for 16 years, and then the so-called traffic light coalition that imploded last year, and now we're heading elections. The first green chancellor, she ruined basically our country. She enforced, without asking the people, she enforced to open our borders for illegal immigration in 2015. She wrecked and destroyed our backbone in terms of obnoxious energy policy. For the foreign listeners here in this audience, Germany is the only industrial country that unplugged the nuclear power plant. So the aim of Angela Merkel was to enforce just solar and wind energy. And you don't need to be very smart to encounter that you cannot run an industrial country with just wind and solar, because you don't have any energy and electricity when the sun doesn't shine and when the wind doesn't blow. And this is a major problem.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm a big fan of solar energy, but clearly, if a country is at a very high latitude, then the amount of solar power in the winter is going to be substantially reduced of energy usage. So a lot of power can be done with solar and with large-scale grid energy batteries, but it must be supplemented with other forms of power because there's not a lot of sunshine in the middle of winter in Germany. So the solution obviously must be a multifaceted solution where there is certainly renewables, but also there does need to be some amount of fossil fuel energy and especially nuclear. I think nuclear is very much underrated. I think it was tragic for Germany to shut down the nuclear power plants. In fact, they're very well designed, and I think that the right move is in fact to increase the amount of nuclear power substantially in Germany. This would be great. And I think,
yes, absolutely.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So that was the reason why I wanted to shed some light on the current situation. So exactly what you said. We stand for a energy supply diversification. We cannot run a industrial country like Germany with a still strong manufacturing base. To tell you the truth, our manufacturing production, it peaked in 2018 and it plummeted since then due to high energy costs. And you cannot run a country like that. So therefore, we say, look, we need to be technology open, and we need to reinforce again nuclear power plants, because nuclear energy supply is carbon free, right? So
Yes.
therefore, we would also reduce our carbon footprint, which is obnoxiously very, very high. And this is the entire irony about it. So our governments, like the Angela Merkel government and the so-called ridiculous traffic light coalition, they enforced a green policy upon our country that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And we would like to go back to technology openness here.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, my recommendation, and I've said this publicly before, is that Germany should not merely reopen the nuclear power plants, but substantially increase the power generation. In the same space, meaning without increasing the size of the nuclear power plant in any meaningful way, without increasing the amount of land area that it uses, you can dramatically increase the power output of a nuclear power station, because the actual core part of the power station is extremely tiny. People don't quite realize just how small the center core of a nuclear power plant is. It's like amazingly tiny, and so you can actually, in the same land area, no increased land area, dramatically increase the amount of nuclear power that any given nuclear power station is producing. You need a water source to run the steam turbines, but really far more power output is possible than people realize. And I think that the sensible solution is renewables, but with a lot of nuclear, and then to supplement where there has to be some amount of hydrocarbon power generation to supplement where it just needs to be sensible.
Yeah, absolutely. But do you know what? So just let me do just like one more example, because like wind turbines, wind energy, in comparison to nuclear power supply, is highly inefficient. Also, in terms of land use. So, for instance, I give one example just to shed some light on it. If you were to replace one nuclear power plant, let's say like Emsland nuclear power plant here in Germany, with an annual electricity production of 10 billion kilowatt per hour, with modern wind turbines, with a production of just 8 million kilowatt per hour per year, you would need 1,250 wind turbines just to replace this one power plant. And with a rotor diameter of 70 meters and the minimum distance from large wind farms, you end up around with like 100 square kilometers. For example, this corresponds to half of the major city of Stuttgart, right? So this entire thing, and just to stress the fact again, you don't need to be very smart just to do your calculations.
Yes.
But our energy policy.
I mean, that's the crazy thing. The crazy thing is like a bunch of these energy questions. You do not need to be like a world-leading physicist. It's very basic math, like high school, less than high school level math. I'd say middle school math even. It's very straightforward, not complicated.
Yes, absolutely. And then during the crisis, like during the war. Huh? Sorry?
No, please go ahead.
Yeah. So during the war of Ukraine, so our gas supply was